Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We're at 12730 Southwest Rita Drive here in Beaverton, located at the front of the house. This is a rescope post-repair. And we're just checking on the belly here. And I've already put about 3 gallons of water down line here. In the event, this is kind of a, I would imagine water's been down already, but just in case it's a virgin run here, do this to ensure that if there is low spots, or at least significant low spots, the water will fill it in. Well, I'm putting another 3 gallons down the line right now. All right. We'll let that drain through there. All right, dropping into 4-inch ABS, swapping over to 3034 PVC here. A little tiny bit of standing water there right after the transition. That is very minor stuff. Oh, we still got some of that. That joint there is a little separated. Again, I think that same exact spot was on the last time we ran through here. You know, the joint appears to be intact. There's just a level of separation at it. Now we're into concrete pipe. And off out to the main here. So, definitely an improvement there on the standing waterfront. Alright, we're going to start pulling back in here. Alright, so I mentioned on the original report, you know, under ideal circumstances, we're already getting into the road. This last bit of the transite here would have been nice to update just because you're already down there. You know, as it sits, stuff flows just fine. Everything's moving through it. I would just be aware, it's on the older side, like I was mentioning the first go around. I would rescope periodically, probably every 1 to 2 years to monitor that. And that's mostly to watch for the joints. Like this one here, you've got a little bit of separation. I would check to see if there's any kind of warranty in place for this stuff, because it's like the joint prior to it. I don't know when all this stuff was updated. I believe this separation here, I'll have to go back and look at the other video, if that's a new piece of separation there, or if that was on the original video. It may have also been in the bellied area where it was harder to see originally. But the line certainly got straightened out. You've got good flow through these areas. These joints are a little bit concerning, not knowing exactly when all this stuff was updated. If it was years ago, we can reasonably assume that's how they're going to remain and they're going to stay put. If they're just done, the concern is are they going to shift over time? So I would see if there's any kind of warranty that comes along with this repair. Same thing back in here. My concern was if this line was just updated, you know, a few months back, and it, you know, settled to the point where we got that nasty belly and it pulled this joint apart, is it going to progressively settle? So, you know, as it sits right now, the belly has been corrected. There is essentially zero standing water in the line. It flows great. So no concerns from that standpoint. You have a nicely functioning sewer line here. But I would try and get a little information on some of that stuff, whether there's a warranty in the event something does shift over time, as to whether or not that'll get corrected if that does happen. As those joints sit right now, they appear to be closed off to the ground. There's a pretty good size coupler on the outside of the pipe joints there that hold things together with quite a lot of overlap. So as long as everything's cinched down tight, most likely they're going to stay put. But, you know, not knowing when all this stuff was updated, there's a little bit of a question mark there, or at least as far as confidence goes that they're going to remain that way. But anyway, we have great flow all the way to the main lateral connection. All the pipe here all appears to be intact, albeit there's a few 2 or 3 joints in there that show a couple or a little bit of separation between them. As it sits right now, I'm not seeing any strong evidence that they're open to the ground. No, line is functioning properly at this time. But I would, from the standpoint of you've got good makings here for a trenchless epoxy liner update at some point in time, because the grade is good out there in the transite concrete. You just want to keep an eye on things to take advantage of that style of repair, so you don't have to do what was done here and go, you know, tearing the road up and digging down that deep. This is the kind of thing that nowadays you can update trenchlessly. So from that standpoint, I would rescope the line about every 1 to 2 years to monitor the line and just watch for signs that, you know, like the joints are starting to wear out, things like that, stuff that can expose the line to the ground and lead to progressive settling. You just don't want something like that to take place for too long, to where you could lose your ability to do a trenchless update, which is a rather convenient and cost-saving type of repair to do. But very nicely functioning sewer line as we sit here right now.